This is the Variety Show 2024. Today's celebrity breakdown will be Jake Paul, the winner of the Mike Tyson fight last year in November. So Jake Paul, and Mike Tyson, the match that they had. So I really didn't know that much about Jake Paul earlier on before the fight, and then I was really rooting for Mike Tyson to win the fight. From appearance, uh, Jake Paul, he's all covered up with tattoos like that. And the way that he is, his behavior, I felt like, oh, this guy just seems like he's kind of full of himself. And I really didn't know that much about him, so I found myself just initially rooting for Mike Tyson to win because I thought Mike Tyson is one of the greats. I always thought that he was a great boxer. And then as the boxing match, which I believe was November 15th last year, as it came closer, I found myself actually rooting for Jake Paul to win that match because I learned more about him, and then I came to like him, saying that no, he's not full of himself. It's just the way that he is, and his personality seemed to me to be likable. He wasn't full of himself. He seemed like he was easygoing and down to earth and seemed like a nice guy. So I no longer felt that way. I was deceived by that he got covered with tattoos. But then when I learned more about him, I didn't feel that he was full of himself. And he was that's just the way that he is. And that's just his style. That's just part of him, that he's kind of wild that way. Um, and and then after the match happened, and by unanimous decision, Jake Paul had defeated Mike Tyson. There were people saying that he didn't really earn it because there were some people who were saying that it was rigged and he didn't really earn it, and there were other people saying that, oh, Mike Tyson um, purposely allowed him to win because there was some deal involving the money, and I just don't see any evidence of that. And it's really a cheap shot to take away his victory that he did. I believe he legitimately won that fight. He legitimately um, outboxed Mike Tyson in a decision. I don't see any evidence of that. And and Mike Tyson, though I was rooting for him initially, he was not the same. I mean, it's true about him, Mike Tyson not being in his prime. Mike Tyson was definitely not in his prime. He was slow. He was sluggish. No man, and I know he trained. He trained hard. He tried as best he could, but he was slow. He was sluggish. He was not the Mike Tyson that he used to be in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. He wasn't. He just wasn't there, and everybody knows it. That they were disappointed. But he was slow and sluggish. He's aged. He's had medical issues. He just wasn't the same. So Jake Paul legitimately won that fight, and it shouldn't be anybody's surprise that he had won. And Mike Tyson agreed to it. All these people trying to baby Mike Tyson, saying, but he agreed to it. He didn't have to agree with it. Agree to it. He agreed to the fight. Mike Tyson's a big boy. He agreed to the fight. So why are you feeling sorry for Mike Tyson? That doesn't make any sense to feel sorry for him. And they're trying to like baby him and stuff. He agreed to it. My goodness. And Jake Paul is a skilled fighter. He's clearly trained hard to get all the wins that he's had, and he's definitely got a future in boxing. He's someone at his age, at 27 years old, he's got a future, and he could go on to have many other great fights. So that's my assessment of Jake Paul. I think he's a talented YouTuber and boxer. And initially, the whole lesson of don't judge a book by its cover. I thought. I mean, I just really don't know that much about him. And so that's I don't have that much else to say about Jake Paul and the fight. But that's really all I have to say about Jake Paul on this installment of Celebrity Breakdown, the Variety Show 2024.